Hi, my name is Matt Heyliger. I'm a physical therapist with Excel Physical Therapy here in Bozeman, Montana. And I'm a rock climber myself and definitely sustained a lot of injuries over the years. So I found that the exercises that are going to follow are really helpful just for preventing common upper extremity injuries. So injuries of the wrist, forearm, elbow, and up into the shoulders. All right, the next exercise is designed to target the rotator cuff muscles. Oftentimes we've learned to train these muscles in this plane here, either sideline with a weight or with a stretchy band. For climbers, I think it's beneficial to move that exercise to an overhead activity, as I'll demonstrate now. From this exercise, you're going to take a couple of stretchy bands or cables, bring your arms up so that they are parallel with the floor, and then you're going to be what's called externally rotating at the shoulder. You can think of a pivot sitting right at your elbow, and you should feel the muscle activation behind the shoulder blade with this exercise. The next exercise is designed to target the shoulder blade muscle, so the scapular stabilizers. These are really important just to create a good foundation for the upper arm to move when we're going into overhead positions. So we'll take a look at them. There's two different ones, two different planes of motion, and I think both are important to integrate to your workout. So the next exercise is going to be performed using either a ball, exercise ball, or you can use just a bench at the gym. Will also work. You're going to lay over the ball here. Widen your feet so you have nice stability. You can take hand weights. I'll demonstrate without. And you're just going to be pulling the arms back, squeezing the shoulder blades back and down to feel the lower trapezius muscle activate. The second one, you're going to come out to the side and then just basically squeeze the shoulder blades together to feel the middle trap activate. All right, so next we're going to talk about some exercises designed to target the stabilization of the elbow, the wrist, and the hand. Super important muscles for climbing. We do so much flexing in climbing that getting some complementary muscle activation on the back side of the forearm and all these different planes of motion is really important to avoid tendon injuries, especially over the course of a long season. So we use a few tools here. Stretchy bands are super useful for these exercises, and you can actually perform most of them with just stretchy bands. Also, it's helpful to have a counterweighted dumbbell, so one side that's free and the other side that's got weight that you can change weight on one side of. And then also a standard dumbbell. And they've got these tools down at Spire, so you can get in there and get your workouts in when you're done with your climbing training. So we're working with these weights in different planes of motion, targeting different muscles. This first exercise targets the brachioradialis muscle, which in this position is on the top of the forearm. So you should feel a little muscle burn right into what's facing me, the top of the forearm here, just a slow casting motion. So the next exercise targets the supinators of the forearm. They also are on the top of the forearm as you lower in this phase here. So you should feel muscle activation out into the top and the outside of the forearm here as you slowly lower to the inside. So this exercise targets the pronators of the forearm. Basically, you're starting with your palm up and grabbing the band, have the band come from the outside of your foot, and then you're rotating your palm down toward the floor here, and you should feel muscle activation on the inside of the forearm in this area here as you're pulling down. So this next one's probably the most standard and conventional. You'll see it in all the climbing magazines, but it's really important just to get a standard wrist extension exercise. So nice slow controlled motion, feeling this again in the extensors on the top of the forearm. So the next exercise is going to target the finger extensors, which you'll feel in your forearm, but you're actually going to wrap the band down around your fingers here. So make your hand into a small fist and then bring the fingers out into a straightened position, hold. This one I like to hold for 5 seconds and then slowly come back to that start position. So we're going to put that counterweight to use again. This exercise is designed to target the ulnar deviators. So you're going to be standing, hand is right at your side, and it's basically a reverse casting motion. You should feel this activate muscles in what are the back of my forearm in this position here. So in terms of training frequency, I think starting out with 2 to 3 times a week, developing a base with these exercises, then moving more into a phase where you're doing once or twice a week. 3 sets of 15 is plenty, even 2 sets is good as long as you're getting them in. I think for climbers it's tough because we spend so much time climbing and just hanging off stuff, and you got to do those other muscle groups. You got to push, you got to do some push-ups, core exercise, other stabilization. With core, please emphasize more static control. Don't do crunches all day even though it's good for the abs. This is a good reminder just to keep your foundation in terms of injury prevention and hopefully have a long season and a productive season of climbing.